Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? Let me just start with the obvious one. So what was your reaction when you heard the news officially today?
It was a combination of, I was shocked. I definitely was. I know there's been rumblings out there, but there's been rumblings about Sean Payton leaving for the last 10 years in some capacity. He's going to be traded to every other team in the league. You know, he's going to retire. He's going to step away from the game. Him and Drew are going to go out together. So there's always been those things. But I think just seeing it actually happen for real, I was shocked. Went from shocked to being saddened that we won't have him on the sideline. We won't have that figure that we've been so used to seeing, and every time he's there, we know we have a chance to win, and a little bit of uncertainty about what the future holds. So I would say shocked and saddened were the two emotions.
And you have, I'm so glad we're talking, because you do have like a truly unique perspective as a guy that played for Sean, but then you stayed so close to the organization, covering the organization here. You listened to the press conference today. I know you had TV with your view. Listening to it for 90 minutes, what or did anything really stand out to you?
I think people got a chance to see the real Sean Payton, and I think he let his guard down. I've seen that more out of him the past 5 or 6 years than maybe we did when we were there in 06 through my time through 13, and just seeing the evolution of him as a person. Sean Payton, the coach, is different from Sean Payton, the person, and I think him going up there today and letting everybody know from the very beginning, he's going to take every question. He appreciates the media member. He appreciates their jobs they do. He didn't appreciate them at first. The appreciation he has for his players. And, when I was playing for him, I said this to somebody earlier, I mentioned on your view, he was a tough coach to play for, very demanding. And it wasn't until I was done playing that my admiration for him as a coach changed to loving him as a coach and as a person, because being around him with my kids, being around my family, the way he talked about me to my kids, I realized I was more than just a number on a jersey to him. And he truly cares about his players. And there's a soft side to Sean. There's a compassionate side to him that a lot of people don't get to see, because they just get to see the coaching side of him in the press conferences. And, I think you saw the real Sean Payton today in that press conference.
You used a word that I was going to ask about, having played for Sean and then covering him. Have you seen him evolve? And I guess it's maybe different, Scott, than just us seeing a different side today. Have you noticed an evolution or change in him?
Absolutely. There's no question about it. And like I said, when he got there in 06, it was his first ever head coaching job, and he was going to do it the way he wanted to do it. And he brought in the people he wanted to. Their skill level, their characteristics, their personality was important to him. That's why I felt like our organization changed, because of the type of people he brought into the organization. And he never sacrificed, character for talent. He always found that happy medium of talent with character, and gave those type of guys that he brought into our organization, front office to the locker room, gave us a chance to win. But his evolution as a person, you saw it happen really in the past 5 or 6 years. And us older guys, we're on a chat and we always laugh, like, who is this guy dancing in the locker room with the smoke and the lights? And where was this Sean Payton when we were in 120-degree weather in Jackson, and he didn't give a crap if we had to go out for 2-a-day practices for 30 straight days? So that was the evolution of Sean that we all laughed about. Like, man, we wish we could have got. We were like the kid that the dad was strict to when we were little, and then when we grew up, now he's babying the younger brother. And we're like, what the heck happened here?
Oh, man. It's always better for the younger siblings. Isn't that kind of how it goes? I guess maybe so. He's on Twitter at Scott Shanle. Good enough to spend a couple of minutes with us here. Do you think Sean Payton will coach again?
You know what? When it first was announced that he was retiring, stepping away, it was what it eventually became to be, I think after watching a press conference, he will coach again. I think he needs a refresher. I think he didn't want to use the word burned out, but I was talking to somebody about this year, watching him go through. He did a heck of a job, an amazing job, all the circumstances they went against. But I'm telling you, as long as I've known him, I get a good sense for body language, mannerisms, and he was burnt out. I could tell by watching him on the sideline, he wasn't the same person. There was a lot of pressure, a lot of different circumstances. I didn't feel like he was having fun. You didn't see the fist pumps. You didn't see him running down the sideline. Those things that we got so used to seeing. And so he doesn't like the word burnt out, but I think that's kind of what happened this year. He needs a refresher and to step away for a while.
This day is obviously about Sean Payton and his legacy. There's the obvious question, though, Scott, of who's next. And because you do cover the team also, I mean, it's appropriate for me to ask you, what direction do you think they will or should they go next?
I'm 100% on board with. I think Dennis Allen has to be the next head coach for the New Orleans Saints. First of all, I think they have to stay inside the building. The culture is too good. There's way too many positive things going on in that building to step out and bring somebody from the outside in who's going to bring in his whole coaching staff. I think it's a huge risk. And I'm telling you, there would be a ton of guys on this team severely disappointed if this staff isn't kept together. There would be disappointment if Dennis Allen or somebody inside the building already is not named head coach. There is a chance to still do a lot of really good things because of the people in that building, and I think they have to hire from within.
It's going to be and Scott, I would also assume like timing matters, right? Because Dennis Allen's been interviewed in Chicago. Like you got to move quickly now if you're the Saints. You're going to make that type of decision. I also wanted to ask about your go back to 2006. I mean, you were traded to New Orleans, so New Orleans traded for you. They traded a 7th-round pick for you in 2006. Do you remember your first interaction or first impression of Sean Payton when you met him then?
Well, Sean was in Dallas when I was here, so we were here for. I've been around Sean for a couple of years already. He was the offense coordinator for the Cowboys, but I didn't know him. I mean, we were on different sides of the ball. Not a whole lot of interaction besides what he saw me doing in practice. And that was about it. So that's why I always tell young guys, you never know who's watching you. You never know who is going to impact your career because Sean and I didn't have a relationship in Dallas. He saw me every day in their staff meetings, what the defensive coaches said. He saw me on tape. He saw me covering his tight ends and his running backs. And when the time came and he needed a linebacker in New Orleans, he's like, I want that guy. And so it's a great lesson for guys going into the league that I always tell. You never know who can impact your life. Do the right things. Just 100 miles an hour all the time. And I'd never forget when I got traded, I got the call from Bill Parcells, and I remember almost cutting Bill off and maybe offended him, but I was like, thank you, Coach. I was so excited. I was so happy to be traded to an organization with coaches I knew. Gary Gibbs was there, Coach Payton. I was excited about starting from scratch and helping build an organization, the foundation at an organization. And so when I saw Sean Payton, the offensive coordinator, was way different than Sean Payton, the head coach. His ability as an authoritative figure, as a CEO, I was blown away. It was the most I'd ever heard Sean talk because obviously Bill Parcells was going to be the talkative one in his organization. And I was just blown away with his ability to galvanize and get guys ages 21 through 35 all on the same page. And when he spoke, everybody listened. Everybody respected what he had to say. Now, everybody loved him. He ran a tough training camp. And you knew that things were going to be different in New Orleans by the way he ran things from day one.
Before you go, Sean's legacy in New Orleans is obviously intact and will be. He's the greatest coach that's ever – it's not even debatable, obviously. If I asked you what is Sean Payton's legacy in New Orleans, what do you say?
You know, I have images. I have images more than I do words because I think there's no question that he's the greatest coach ever to coach for the New Orleans Saints. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. What he did as a head coach, he's one of the greatest offensive minds our game has ever seen. Him and Drew together were a match made in heaven. But what's cool about Coach Payton's legacy is when we call him the greatest Saints coach in their history, you can go to every other organization around the NFL. And I think you can make an argument that no other coach had a bigger impact on an organization than Sean Payton, especially when you look at when he came in, where the organization was, more importantly, where the city and the state was. No other coach had a bigger impact on an organization than Sean Payton.
You said images. What images come to your mind?
Man, I go through the Rolodex of, from 06, starting off and seeing the running down the sideline, the fist pump, the Tiger Woods fist pump, the taunting of the coaches across the field. There were so many great moments, watching him as an analyst, go over to Devontae Freeman and give him the choking gesture after the Falcons choked the Super Bowl away. Watching him today take a shot at Eli Apple in the post-game press conference, I tweeted it out and I said, that's our coach. We played with an edge and an arrogance and an attitude that Coach Payton was proud of, and he brought that to us.
The Eli Apple dig today was pretty awesome. I really, really liked it. He is Scott Shanle. He's on Twitter at Scott Shanle. Y'all give him a follow. Of course, you can watch his commentary on Your View, and he's always generous with his time. Hey, man, thank you. I know you're busy today, but thank you so much, as always, for making a couple of minutes.
Absolutely, no problem.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.